Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to what is going to be game number 2 of the grand finals of the Link to the Past Randomizer Fall 2019 tournaments. We have Jet082 versus Acktheboker. Jet going into this game, being the winner of game 1, has a chance to clinch this tournament with a victory tonight. But he has to get through Acktheboker, another very strong randomizer player who's done fantastic throughout this tournament as well, and he can bring this up to a game 3 situation tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get started and talking about the two competitors we have here today. I am Slim Kirby, one of the commentators, joined by Tracy M here on the mic. Tracy, how are you doing, and what can you tell us about these two runners here?
Oh, I am doing fantastic. Super honored to be able to calm one of the finals in this tournament. Starting off with Ack, he was the 27th seed and went through, in brackets, Megawatt, Gamachu, Sabotender, Yoshi, and Doomtab. Some really good names there. Jet, on the other hand, the 13th seed, went through Shady Force, Trinex, that's the player, not the boss, Wayne, P-Train 24, and Ninban, also a bunch of good players. And, looking at those seedings and looking at those names, I mean, we just had such a stacked tournament. So just getting to the finals is just amazing. And these two are going to show off a great race for us. They showed a great race to us yesterday, so I expect more of the same.
Yeah, definitely. One statistic I personally noticed before this series even started, in just the bracket stage alone, both Jet and Ack only took one loss in the bracket stages. Obviously, Ack took a second loss last night in game 1, but still, when you consider the tough competition and just the amount of experience a lot of these randomizer players have had, that's a very impressive statistic, I think, being able to go through that many wins. And now here they are, showcasing some very excellent skill here in what could be the final match of the tournament.
Yeah, and of course, despite Ack's protest to the contrary, we are doing a map compass shuffle, so really no surprise if you're listening to the way he's talking about it. But we are doing a map compass shuffle, which is kind of interesting because the one time that I can think of, well, the one loss that Jet had, he did switch to a map compass. Jet, being a very accomplished key sanity player, really likes to get towards that more of a map compass, more of a key sanity setup, and they're off.
Yep, then, well, getting started right from the get-go, and wow.
Moon
Okay,
Pearl.
no Moon Pearl block behind Fetch Quest today. That one's going to be just giving us to us right from the get-go here.
Unfortunately, it doesn't really open anything up right away because we have no actual Dark World access otherwise, but hey, we don't have to worry about a Moon Pearl in a weird place like on Pyramid Ledge or something.
Yeah, definitely. So we are seeing what I'm guessing to be a slight divergence here. Same divergence we saw yesterday. Jet is actually going north to check the Lumberjack Ledge. Last night it had the Ice Rod, some intel that Ack did not have for quite a bit of the seed, and Ack is just going straight for the forest. So we'll see if this divergence kind of leads to the same kind of scenario that yesterday led.
Well, and yesterday was really interesting because Jet, knowing that Ice Rod was there, it was a big question whether he was going to go into Turtle Rock, knowing that he would go in there without being able to complete it. Ack did not know that Ice Rod was there, so it made a little more sense for him to go into Turtle Rock. Turns out our boots were there, and our lamp for that matter, just to add a little bit of Aga insult.
Yeah, yesterday's race was absolutely off the hook. Obviously we know who won by this point from the little Triforce symbols down there, but still it is worth a rewatch. Very close race, very exciting the whole way through, and definitely shows why these two are here, definitely.
Okay, Ack gonna get to Kakariko first since he did not do that check earlier, saved a little bit of time. Let's see what we got. Rupees, a bug net, powder, so our first fetch quest of the night, piece of heart. Always say if you're going to get a fetch quest item, let it be the powder. Oh, and flippers. That powder being a nice safety as well as a fetch quest item.
So one item you're definitely going to want to see in Kakariko right now is the hammer. Just kind of get that magic bat location kind of out of the way now while you're kind of in Kakariko, but we'll
Although,
have to see.
interesting, Ack doesn't have any magic, so he would need to pick up something to actually make that check if we do get a hammer.
That is a good point.
And we found our first compass. Compass is not doing a whole lot for us. If you haven't seen Map Compass Shuffle, the only thing the compass really does for us is it gives a little HUD to keep track of keys and not keys so much, but chests and checks. So the maps that are really interesting. We don't know whether each dungeon is going to be a crystal or pendant until either we see it on the map and have the map in order to see it on the map, or we actually beat the boss.
Mm-hmm. A very prominent feature in Key Sanity. So for Map Compass Shuffle, it's kind of like getting the kind of the little interesting aspects of Key Sanity without actually shuffling the keys. So it is kind of unique little feature of those items.
Yeah, some people like to call it Key Sanity Light.
Mm-hmm. So we did find the Ether Medallion inside the well, so not going to have any intel about that if that'll be required, but still it's good to get, some of the medallions early just to kind of maybe not worry about looking for them if you don't need to.
Yeah, so far not a great Kakariko. Those flippers and that powder could be useful. Probably going to need the flippers unless Swamp is a pendant.
Mm-hmm.
Reminder that if ice were a crystal, they'll just fake flipper if they can't find the flippers. But they have them, so they don't have to worry about it.
Exactly. Don't need to worry about the boots, at least for anything early, because just a red rupee on the library. Ack's now going to go over here and check the maze game ledge. Looks like we have just a piece of heart, so he is going to get on out of there and move somewhere else.
And just arrows at Link's house, so really, we're kind of sparse right now.
Yeah, we've definitely found a lot of items that will kind of give us progression later on, but definitely nothing right now. Flippers could give us a couple of things, which that seems to be what Ack's currently trying to follow with those acquisitions.
Yeah, and I like this choice from Ack because, he doesn't have even money to get bombs. 3 bombs would be the minimum. No, you can't even do mini Moldorm with just 3 bombs. You need 1 to open it and then 3 to kill all the Moldorms, and you have no other weapons to kill them. So doing a slightly different route, doing something else. I mean, even if you just got bombs here, that would be useful. And he gets a map. But at least it's a map to a dungeon. The worst maps to get, of course, are to the castle and to Ganon's tower, because they don't tell us anything new.
Yeah, literally the most useless items in this pool because they do nothing. Even a green rupee has more use than that.
Yep.
But it looks like Ack is just checking the hobo spot for right now. Going to be heading over to the Eastern Palace area. While Jet kind of doing kind of a more traditional approach, going south to the South Shore, going to check the dam, probably move over to Mini Moldorm Cave since he has those bombs a little more than Ack does. So that's going to be his next progression.
Yeah, Jet went ahead and bought some bombs. Ack still doesn't have any. Green pendant in desert. So that's another thing that's a little different here. So that'll now show up on the map when Ack checks it. You can also find out the 5-6. Did he just pick up the Desert Palace map?
He sure did, Tracy. He sure did.
Wow. Ouch. But yeah, he could also talk to the bomb vendor in the Dark World to find out where the red crystals are. So can't do that yet because we don't have Dark World access, but...
It is interesting, and like you mentioned the bomb thing, and that's probably why he's kind of in this direction. But looking at yesterday's race, it was kind of Ack avoiding Eastern Palace that kind of set him back for a while. So it's interesting to see him do this a bit earlier. Maybe that's kind of in his head. But oh my gosh,
flute and a hook shot.
Well, that cave's telling you one place where you should be going. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. First, we'll activate the flute, though, but Ack will
Oh yeah.
get there. It's a little bit less likely that you're going to say, "Oh, I'm just not going to go to Mini Moldorm" than Eastern
Yeah.
Palace. So I suspect Jet will go activate that flute and head over to the mountain. Everything would be in logic except the actual old man. But he'll probably go ahead and do that anyway, just to get the save and quit. And there is an item.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Little annoying to do it without a sword, but he's got a hook shot to work off of. That's not too bad.
Yeah, I always say hookshot's the second best thing to have in that scenario, just because you can just kind of tell where you are to the walls and everything. We do find a compass in Eastern Palace, but it's not the Eastern Palace compass; it's another compass entirely. That's another thing you really want to keep in mind in that compass shuffle, because dungeons have way more items, because every map and compass is essentially 2 more items in each dungeon, so definitely gives dungeons way more weight.
So a lot less likely you'll see plays like a big Ack being in Eastern right now. Probably not going to skip the big key chest, for instance. We have seen a few runners skip that item throughout the tournament.
He does get a nice bottle inside Eastern Palace. That'll give him a Sick Kid check a bit later on.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting if there's something good on Sick Kid, because he's going to head back to town once he finds that flute as well. He'll be able to do both of those things, the check and the flute activation at the same time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, sorry you guys can't see very much right now. Both of our runners just in dark rooms without the lamp. Jet does make it out with the old man, and we'll turn him in, get that item. Again, out of logic, but it's 300 rupees. That's a pretty good acquisition there.
Gets him closer to that Zora money.
So on top of Spectacle Rock, we're going to get just a piece of heart, and Jet's going to go check and see what the item is before going for it. Sees his 10 arrows. He's not going to be going for that.
Nope. He'll just jump right on down, hookshot over to the east side. And Paradox Cave by itself has 7 items, plus another item at Spiral Cave, so a whole lot of stuff we can check.
And you can also get that intel as well and see what's on the Lonely Death Mountain Island as too, so definitely good to make this check as soon as you can, just due to all that density. Also, I think this is going to be a bit of a rupee farm for Ack. He is currently going through the second dark room, but in the right room there are about, I think 90 rupees, so going to save some money for the potential Zora play later. It is in logic.
I like this choice. It's a good choice. We have been fairly cash poor so far. And the logic does not take money into account when it talks about when it comes to, say, Zora. So once you have a flipper Zora, there's a glove for Jet. That Zora location is in logic, regardless of how many rupees that the game is giving you. Oh my god, and a bow and a lamp.
And a lamp.
Oh my god, that is a pretty good Paradox Cave, I'd say. Yeah,
it's a pretty good Paradox Cave, and it's also going to allow Jet to complete Eastern in one trip as well. So that's going to give him a bit of a time advantage on Ack, at least starting out here in the early game.
Or at least if it turns out to be a crystal. If it turns out to be a pendant, that could be a time saved by Ack if he never goes back to Eastern.
That is also fair.
It's just a heart container on the floating island, so 1 item left for Jet to check.
Oh yeah, apparently the bow was in that same exact location last time too, or yesterday.
Okay, Spiral Cave, what do you got for us after that long, long walk? Just a heart container. Although this early, with this few hearts that they've got so far, it's not the worst thing in the world, but that's an awfully long walk for just a heart container.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And we do see Ack going into the desert area, and there's our other glove.
Okay, well, we can't quite get into Desert Palace quite yet, and it looks like if we're gonna get that glove, there's only gonna be one way into desert, at least to start with, so we need to find that book in order to get that.
And nothing in Nagina, nothing in the back of Escape. But Jet did pick up the key, and with the lamp, he is just going to go ahead and check the Dark Cross item now.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, there's no guarantee that that map is going to be in here, so you may as well check it.
And let's see what Ack is going to do. Still not nearly enough money for Zora, so maybe might be just gonna go ahead and check those Flipper's locations anyway. Oh, looks like he's gonna buy some bombs.
Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, he is only down to one bomb, so even, like you said earlier, going to Mini Moldorm Cave, not the smartest idea with only one bomb.
You could get in.
You can get in, but
That's it.
You can't do anything to the enemies in there. Looks like Ack is going to be heading to the front of Escape, though, and we've seen most of Eastern Palace. You've seen most of Eastern Palace already, so like, there's one item we still need to get information on, which is the Armos item. But aside from that, we didn't really find much in Eastern except for a bottle. So that lamp we found on Death Mountain. Oh wait, no, it wouldn't be that because again, we've seen the Dark Cross, but still, like, yeah, that Eastern may have just been a giant misdirection, I guess. We'll see.
Well, we're gonna find out from Jet pretty soon because he is gonna make the play over to Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
He'll full clear this.
Yeah, he will definitely.
Just some rupees so far. Not a whole lot at the Uncle location. And Ack gonna do a bomb escape. And just to make it clear for those of you that maybe are new to Map Compass Shuffle here, the music doesn't tell us anything. That is shuffled along with everything else. And the fun part is sometimes you get the GT pendant music, which is a little amusing, to be honest.
Yeah.
And a little weird.
And I swear, when Key Sanity first came out, like, it was always the pendant music whenever I played.
Okay, Ack gets another container heart.
But yeah, runners of this skill, like that, even though you think that going through Escape with just bombs would be difficult, and it is if you're not used to it, but after doing so many randomizer seeds, these runners have different strategies and ways to adapt to all the different guard RNGs, so they have their methods for getting rid of all these guards with no issue.
Yeah, Ack's having no trouble here. And not once he gets through that last one, he could use the pots on the chain guard, ball and chain guard back here.
Mm-hmm.
Probably doesn't want to kill the green guard there because he may choose to Death Warp to check the Dark Cross area. Be a little bit more difficult for him without the lamp, but that's not a very difficult dark room. He'll have no trouble with it. Nope, he's just gonna save and quit.
I think if maybe he had like a safety item like hookshot or something, he'd probably go for it, but he literally just has bombs, so I think that's probably a smart play to
I guess you could use the bug net to see your way. That would be a new one for me.
Yeah, that's true.
Not sure I'd want to try that. So I certainly don't blame him for not doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
But he has enough bombs now to do the mini Moldorm, so it looks like that's where he's headed.
Mm-hmm. So he will get his flute from this, and you know that'll and the hook shot
And the
for
hook
that
shot.
matter, and that'll likely propel him in to the mountain where he will find the bow and the lamp. And Jet's also going to make use of that rupee room. He does have enough for Zora, but there are going to be other purchases he'll need to make as well, so may as well pick up that 90 rupees while you're here.
Yeah, that gets him close to the amount he would need for Zora plus the Kiki money. Still needs another 11 rupees before he can actually do both of those. And Ack not going to continue on to Ice Rod Cave, but I don't believe there was anything there, so he's not really missing anything out of that. I'm not sure Jet checked it.
I don't think he did either, because I think once he got that flute and hook shot, he just went right up to the top, and he can come back to the Ice Rod Cave whenever.
Yeah, once you have a flute, it's very easy to get back there, so not too bad. Might be a while before we see either runner go there. And Jet's about to go into his Armos Knights fight, so we'll see what this last item in Eastern is. And whether it's a crystal or a pendant.
Yeah, that is correct. We have not found that map yet, so we'll see.
And just a single rupee. But it is a crystal.
It is, so that is what we're looking for. Need to get all 7 crystals to access Ganon's tower, so get 1 crystal there on the leaderboard for Jets, and I believe Ack is going to check in with the sick kid now. This is with the bottle he got from Eastern, so we'll see if this was kind of where the seed wanted them to go. Nope, just a heart container. Not bad, but not what we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, we're still pretty low on heart containers, so you're not going to say no to that, but yeah, not what we want. And it looks like he is going to go ahead and do that Ice Rod Cave check pretty quickly. There's Jet getting that desert map again.
Yep. And again, please correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like progression has to be either here or at the Zora area at this point. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be Zora.
Yeah, we're nowhere near Aga. So we really need a way to get into desert to get that second glove, or we need our hammer. So that would, of course, be the book, because like you said, without myths, you're not getting to desert the other way.
Nope, not at all. It does look like Ack is heading to the Zora area. I'm honestly certain this is where our progression has to be at this point.
Ack, of course, is still going to have to get to Death Mountain to get the rest of his progression. Nothing in the waterfall ferry. And Ack does not have enough money for Zora yet, so that's going to be unfortunate if that's the actual answer here.
There's at least the ledge still.
And there's a hammer.
There's a hammer.
One of the nice things for Ack there is when he goes over to Death Mountain and do those checks, he'll be able to go to Tower of Hera right there and then.
That is true. That is very true.
And for his sake, hopefully it's a crystal, but we don't know. I don't think anybody's picked that map up yet.
No, I don't think so.
Jet, on the other hand, might grab that hammer and just go into the Dark World instead of going up to Hera, because that's quite a ways for him to go just for Tower of Hera. And he'd rather pair that up when he can do like the Dark World checks there too.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what he'd probably be thinking as well. But first, before we get that hammer on Jet's side, he is going to make the Zora check. Ack was not able to do this. Do we have our first sword?
So that may or may not be an issue for Ack, depending on where the other swords are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I forgot about the powder. So
Oh, that's
Ack gonna
true,
go
yeah.
right ahead, right away. Fortunately, he remembers it and is checking it. And just some bombs, but don't have to worry about that location anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Jet going ahead straight into the dark world, just like we said.
And, he does have the items to finish off Palace of Darkness, so if he wants to swing on over to the right side, finish up another dungeon that has, honestly, a lot of items in there now. I believe 7 is the magic number in Map Compass Shuffle, so
That sounds right.
that would be a very lucrative place to go.
That would make a lot of sense for Jet because he's already done Eastern. Ack
Mm-hmm.
maybe would want to try and wait a little bit longer and until he has a mirror. That way he could pair up finish doing pod with finishing up Eastern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
We found a lot of compasses and not a whole lot of maps so far.
Yeah, not really. Yeah. Hype Cave today was just a compass and heart piece cave from the look of it.
Let's see if Jet goes and talks to the bomb vendor here. That'll give us a little more. Nope, looks like he's not going to do that. And is going to head straight for pod.
It's like he said, he's already completed the eastern area, and there are a lot of items here, so it does make sense to make this play. You get a lot of value, potentially, or has the possibility to get value anyway.
Yeah. Now, routing pod without the mirror is a bit of a pain, but
Yeah.
it's still a pretty good location. The mirror, not having the mirror is not worth stopping Jet going here. Like we said, already done Eastern, so not having that mirror to go back to Eastern is not really an issue. Just means he'll have to death warp a bit more.
But I mean, we have low hearts, so we can do that at least. So, and yeah, there's also the possibility that the mirror we're looking for could be in here. So
it wouldn't be the strangest thing I've ever seen. Not unusual to find a mirror in pod. Okay, a cape. Gets us bumper ledge. Not really that. Other than that, not really very interesting. A nice safety, I guess. Does open up Spike Cave, yes. Ack seeing his stacked Paradox Cave.
And yeah, because we got immediately a unique item, we're forced to go to the bow side immediately. So that's what we're currently doing on Jet's side.
In this situation, I don't mind it being bow lock since I've already got it. I feel like there's more likely to be something interesting behind that bow.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Ack unfortunately getting Dead Rock blocked.
And is going to head right over to Tower of Hera.
Actually, he only needed to see that item. He had no reason to go up that way anyway, so never mind.
Okay, just a piece of heart so far. We do get a big key there. Ack not gonna Hera pot. He's just gonna go ahead and walk on up. And does find the small key, which means there's going to be something in the basement.
Yep, that is the one kind of unfortunate thing about map and compass shuffle. You have scenarios like these where you can't pray, okay, well, maybe there is a map and compass down in the basement. Nope, it's going to be an item.
And
Oh
Ack
no,
falling down 2 floors, unable to do the bomb jump.
Oh, and he can't even turn the crystals like this. Oh, yeah, you can.
The game expects you to have the mirror at this point, so...
Yeah, that's... Thank goodness he got that bow first before he came here.
Jet getting a and a sword. Boomerang and a sword down there in the rupee basement. For Jet. So Jet on a master sword, while Axe still hasn't found his first sword. You will definitely get the one in pod.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Jet's gonna do the hammer up.
Okay, this time Axe just going to go ahead and play this safe. If anybody's wondering why he doesn't use the hook shot to get over to that chest, there's no way to get back, so now you're just committing yourself to that 2-story floor fall.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have the boots, that's the ideal situation, because then you can hook shot over and then bonk your way back.
But yeah, unfortunately for Ack, doesn't seem to be anything in Tower of Hera yet, although he still has 2 more locations to check. We got Moldorm, and we do have that item in the basement as well, so could still pay off. We'll have to see.
Okay, being corrected, apparently it's just a 1-story fall if the hook shot, but still, you're committing yourself to falling down, which is not what you want. Okay. Gonna use hammer on Moldorm, which isn't a bad way to do this fight.
Yeah, I remember Hammer Moldorm always kind of scaring me when I first started playing Rando, but then, like, you just get so used to not having to worry about the fast phase that you just kind of get used to it and get over it.
Just a big 20, but it is a crystal.
Okay, so that is 2 crystals known, and that is 1 crystal for Ack on the board now.
And let's see if he decides to go back in for that last item. Nope, he's gonna leave it.
Doesn't look like it.
It looks like he's heading straight over to pod, in fact.
Oh, wow, there's a lot more information we have than I thought we had. That's 3 more crystals. So I believe we had a
I saw
crystal
Turtle
at
Rock.
Turtle Rock. Yeah, Turtle Rock, Ice Palace, and Swamp, I believe.
And actually, if one of them went, because I didn't see any red crystals there, if one of them went to the bomb vendor, we might be able to get the rest of our information.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, looks like Ack got hit with Kiki. Kiki doesn't like it when you get hit. He'll run away.
You know, what makes it worse is he'll take 10 more rupees from you, too, when you get back to get them.
And a bottle of blue. If you're gonna get a bottle, at least getting the blue potion is a nice one.
And getting another crystal from Palace of Darkness, I think, at least for us anyway, that's our full knowledge.
Yeah, that's everything.
That leaves Skull and Mire as dependents.
Yeah, we just don't know which of those crystals are the pyramid. Sorry, yeah, the pyramid fairy crystals. You know, for the lack of maps we got early, that was a pretty quick knowledge for a map compass shuffle.
Well, one thing is for sure, I just looked on Jet's menu. One of the crystals he has is a red crystal, so...
Yeah, that doesn't really surprise me. Because unfortunately, when the crystal falls, it's not like it's red.
yeah. Oh, and apparently Hera's the other one. Because I guess Axe has a red crystal too, so yeah, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, shout outs to our tracker, Relkin, for watching that menu to see where those crystals are. And also doing the rest of the tracking, the difficult job of the rest of us, some of us don't want to do. Shout outs to all our trackers, really. We've had a great group of people doing the tracking behind the scenes, so they definitely deserve our love.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, so Jet's doing a little bit of cleanup of a couple things that Ack checked earlier on, but I imagine after this he's going to go straight to the Dark World on this side. We'll have another crystal dungeon to take care of in Thieves Town, and that's going to be 6 more items, plus the Village of Outcasts area, and he can even make a dip in the Skull Woods as well, even if he doesn't have a means to finish it, but it is a pendant, so we don't really want to finish it.
Yeah, Thieves Town being particularly nice in terms of a map compass shuffle, because it is 6 items, but there's only one dungeon item with 1 small key in Thieves Town, whereas, say, Skull Woods still has, I believe, 3 small keys.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, with no mitts and then no boots to dash through those bushes, just kind of have to slash each bush by itself.
Now, one thing of note, Ack knows where his mitts are. He's already scouted out the desert ledge. That's where those mitts are sitting. He knows he has to get the book and follow it to get his mitts. Jet has not scouted out the desert area, does not yet know. Kind of in contrast to Game 1, where Jet the entire time knew the ice rod being on Lumberjack, and Ack not knowing that till the end, till he picked it up. Or until right around the time he could pick it up. And as we talked about the dungeon items, the very first chest we open up in Thieves Town is that dungeon item.
Of course, but at least we know that beyond this first section, we're going to get nothing but unique items, so that's at least something. Do find the Quake Medallion inside Thieves Town as well. That's 2 medallions found. Not too bad. Chances are generally pretty good. One of those will be our Turtle Rock Medallion. Well, speaking of Turtle Rock, there's Canis Amaria, so got that out of the way.
Yeah, Ack making pretty quick work of Pod. As I say that, he falls down. Not too big a deal here.
Yeah, the main thing you need to do is hit that switch, so that way you can just jump down and walk straight to the door, so not a big deal.
One very minor disadvantage Ack is going to have here is since he doesn't have his Master Sword, since he now only has the Fighter Sword, there is a menu saved by having sword beams here that he's not going to be able to take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
And Jet picking up that map of Hera means he might actually prioritize it a little bit more because he'll now know that it's a 5/6 crystal if he looks at his map when he gets back to the light world.
Of course, that'll also mean that'll be a potential third or maybe even fourth trip up to Death Mountain if he decides to follow that, because doesn't know about that Titansmith that's going to be waiting for him on that desert ledge.
Now we don't know what's in the basement of Hera, and we don't know, of course, the Pyramid Fairy item. So there still could be some value with beating Hera, but what we saw of Hera, we didn't see much.
Right, yeah, for sure.
Ack finishing up his Helmosaur fight. And we're about to see blind on Jet's side.
So that'll give 2 crystals to Ack now, and Jet working on his third one.
Now this fight started to get away from Jet, but he does finish it up. And just gets a piece of heart.
One thing I did kind of notice from Jet... Oh, wait, no, never mind. Never mind. Because I forgot that he had the blue mail already. I was going to say that he looked like he was kind of prioritizing getting hit by the fireballs, but at that point it wouldn't have mattered since he would have taken 1 damage no matter what. So Thieves Town completed. Jet's going to now kind of look at the kind of remainder of this area before he kind of starts moving on.
Still not finding our next progression item.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, we have found another medallion, and we have found the Cane of Samaria in Thieves Town, but we cannot do anything with those yet until we get those myths, so we're essentially looking for that book to at least go on that particular progression line anyway.
Oh, and Ack's going to talk to the bomb vendor, so... He now knows it's Eastern and Hera, and confirming what we already knew.
And next, Jet is making his way into Skull Woods. Gonna check and see if he can find the 4 items in here. There are 2 he will not be able to get. Maybe 2, possibly 3 if the big key's locked behind the back section. But still, you have a good chance to find some items here, so you may as well check them out. You'll find at least 2 at the very least.
He does pick up a container heart to start with. And Ack, having seen that this is the other 5/6 crystal, is going to go over to Eastern right now. And at this point, he's already finished pod, so there's really no reason to wait, since he's already going to be unable to pair this up.
Mm-hmm.
And since we haven't seen any sign of the mirror yet, it's very likely he would not have been able to anyway.
Yeah. At this point, it wouldn't surprise me that you know, maybe mirrors behind that book will eventually get at this point. So we do find another heart container inside Skull Woods.
Yeah, just definitely getting more healthy for these checks. And a map to pod. Well, that doesn't do us any good anymore.
So not to waste a key, yeah, Jet's gonna get grabbed by the Wall Master to go back to the beginning of the where he came in from.
Yeah, I like that. I like that choice if you're not gonna, if you want to continue on. And you don't have the mirror.
Yeah, saves you from having to get that one key on the Gibdo later on. So over here on Bumper Ledge, just 10 arrows, so that's not what we're looking for.
Cape not doing much for us today.
Okay, it looks like Jet's going to be making his way over to the Catfish area. Probably check Pyramid on the way back, or maybe even Pyramid first, then Catfish. I guess he's a little closer to Pyramid right now.
Yeah, because without boots and without mirror, he can't do anything else in this area.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ack's going to finish off the Armos Knights. I suspect he will go straight for the Pyramid Fairy, knowing that that's going to be his, that this is his 5/6 crystal.
Mm-hmm. And that will definitely work out for him too, because then he'll be able to kind of do what Jet's checking right now, kind of in one swoop, and won't have to come back later for the Pyramid Fairy.
Okay, gonna get a new check here at Catfish.
This location's had a lot of great items in past races. Let's see if it pays off in this one.
Nope.
Of course not. Of course, it only has something when you're last location in it, but
of course.
whenever you go early, it's nothing.
So I suspect Ack's going to do the Thieves Town play and then do some of the Dark World checks that Jet's done. And it may look like Ack's a little bit behind, but I would say, considering he's in Tower of Hera, I'd say we're pretty equal. It's kind of hard to say who's in the lead right now. A lot's going to depend on who finds what when. And of course, Ack, with that knowledge of where those mitts are, is definitely a nice advantage for him.
Right, ooh.
That's a fire rod.
That is,
of course,
find.
All that really opens right now is the back of Skull Woods.
Didn't we only find 2 items, though? Or
I mean, I'm sure there's got to be more items left. Because we did find some keys and stuff, so.
Found at least 3. Okay, that sounds more accurate.
Oh, I don't think Jet never did escape.
Oh, that's true. Yep.
So this is more time that Ack's going to gain back as Jet does these checks. Right, he did the back of escape to Dark Cross, but did not do the front.
So yeah, at this point, I'd say like Ack definitely has the advantage of knowledge. Jet does have kind of the advantage of a sword upgrade, just because you know it's that other sword that he has that Ack doesn't is going to be kind of in that one location for a while, and I don't see a lot of reasons to go back to Zora at that point.
Yeah, when Ack was in the Zora area the first time, he did not have nearly enough money to actually get the Zora item, so he had to skip it. the fact that it's a sword may or may not be relevant. Because we
Right.
do still have 2 more sword upgrades out there. We just don't know where they are. And if he finds at least one of them, he will be able to finish the game. And if he finds 2 of them, then it really just doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure.
Runners of this caliber, tempered versus gold, not a big difference.
Nope. Heck, as we saw in yesterday's game, like, tempered with silvers and tempered without silvers wasn't even that big of a difference.
No, it really
considering.
wasn't. Yeah, Ack having to do a silverless fight and did it very, very well. Unfortunately, for just a little bit, we're going to be seeing checks that each runner has already done, so not a whole lot of new information coming our way right now. It's always a good time to remind everyone out there to go ahead and follow these runners. And also follow my co-commentator, Slim Kirby, and our tracker, Relkin.
Well, and definitely follow the runners. That's the more important thing.
Absolutely.
Putting on an amazing show for us today. Not just today, for the whole tournament. They've gone through so many matches to get to this point, and have both done exceedingly well, have done a great job, and are, giving their all in this final series of this tournament.
Looks like Jet's gonna finally go ahead and do the Tower of Hera play. Question is, where is that book?
Could be in Pyramid Fairy. That's
Yeah, you know what? I
thinking.
mean, I'm trying to think of what else we haven't looked at. That's one of the places we haven't seen yet.
2 spots that come to mind for me is we have not seen Stumpy or the digging game yet.
Oh yeah, you're right. No one's gone down. They both when checking Hype Cave did not go to the left at all.
Oh, and the Hera basement, of course. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little more likely that Jet will go back in for that Hera basement item, just because he's a little, he's checked more items, has a lot fewer left, so leaving it behind makes a lot less sense in that situation.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think we've seen Spike Cave either.
We have not, and we do have a cape for it, so.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Jet has those couple of checks back of Skull Woods, since he has the fire rod. So we do have quite a few locations left, but none of them are really nice. At this point, I'd say the nicest one would be that Pyramid Fairy. Although Dig Game and Stumpy are, it's kind of unusual to get this far in and not having not checked those.
Yeah. Just kind of comes with the just the nature of routing, and also just kind of trying to outplay your opponent here as well. Kind of thinking of what your opponent might do. You might kind of save some locations for later if you feel behind. You might want to kind of make a push in a certain direction, especially in a seed like this where we've gotten some interesting items and scenarios where, in the case of Jet right now, he's looking at that Dread Crystal up here. He's like, maybe Pyramid Fairy has something.
Alright, and Jet does get the bomb jump, so saving a little bit of time over Ack in his Tower of Hera. Makes very quick work of Moldorm. And now we'll see if he decides to go back in. And he is going to go back in. And like I said, this makes a lot more sense at this point because there's so many fewer locations available to Jet than there were to Ack when he came up here.
Yeah, and you have to imagine Ack may have actually felt like a little bit behind as well, just with how kind of long it took to get him, like the progression to Dark World with you know, needing to go to Death Mountain, and you know, he stopped into Mini Moldorm Cave pretty late compared to Jet as well, so may have felt he kind of needed to make that skip, and he did. Oh my gosh, there's the mirror.
I'm going to need to refresh my stream now because that was a little bit behind on that one. That's big.
That is huge. That is, let's see, that's Swamp Palace. That's going to be another crystal you can take a look at.
So it might be a while before Ack gets back there. On the other hand, he is going to start running out of locations. And, you know, without being able to pick up those mitts, strangely enough, it's going to keep Jet away from Desert that much longer. Because probably he just goes and does Swamp Palace right now.
Mm-hmm. I think the only way that Jet does kind of head to the desert area if he gets the book, and in that case, that'd be great, because, oh, there's the mitts. But, yeah, that's kind of the only way I see him going in that area at this point. Looks like we do have another sword on Stumpy as well, so Ack is up to Master Sword now.
Jet still hasn't gone over there. And we will see Pyramid Fairy.
And again, when you put it into perspective, like, I mean, Swamp Palace, like, it normally has 6 items, and Map of Compass Shuffle, it has 8. That's a lot.
Yeah, and in Map Compass Shuffle situation, you might actually see, it's much more likely you'll see Jet go to the right side before killing the boss. We'll see what he decides to do. And in normal seed, it's the general consensus is go kill the boss first, and then if there's 2 items, maybe you go back in. If there's 1 item, maybe you skip it. And of course, you hope for that there's no items left.
Things could still make a turn. Obviously, we still need to find that book. We're getting ready to see what's inside Pyramid Fairy here.
Yeah, and Ack's gonna go ahead and get his fire rod at the same time. A shield and rupees. So unfortunately, not a whole lot to Pyramid Fairy for Ack, but he will be able to get his fire rod while he's here, so that'll be good for him. Looks like Ack's gonna head over to Catfish. We saw this before. It wasn't anything. I think it was just some rupees.
Yes, I believe it was just a red rupee, so I'm not gonna find what he's looking for here.
I'm trying to think what Ack has that he hasn't checked besides the basement of Hera. I want to say just that now that he's got the fire rod, he does have the back of Skullwoods. But not a whole lot else. So he may be forced to go back up there. Which is definitely not going to feel good in his situation. Honestly, the best thing that could happen is if he did go to the back of Skullwoods and got a book out of there, so he could get his mitts, that would be pretty huge and would give him a really good chance.
Yeah, because getting that book would push him to get the mitts and put him right back on that mountain. So he'd at least be close to where he needs to be. So that'd definitely be the best case scenario for Ack right now.
And he never did the back of escape, so we're going to see that check from him. Yeah, and of course, the one caveat to that book in Skullwoods is if you did get those myths, you might take it that much longer to get to the basement of Hera. So
So yeah, as you said, Jet's going to be checking the left side of Swamp.
yeah, for a map compass shovel, I do like this decision just to go ahead and do it now. It's going to be a couple items. It could be a big key. I mean, it's really the only dungeon item you're going to find here is that big key.
Yeah. So yeah, no matter what, you're getting 2 items, and one of them just being the silver arrows for Jet, so...
Nice upgrade. 50 rupees less interesting.
Well, Ack is back on the mountain.
Alright, so he looks like he is going to make that Hera play, so he will get that mirror. I mean, this could also be a Spike Cave check, but I can't imagine just doing Spike Cave. You know, you might as well do both at the same time. And this is where if you're a runner going through Swamp House, you're really hoping that big key is locked in that big chest. And Ack does go straight to Spike Cave, so this could just be the Spike Cave check, which would be very unfortunate. I'm going to assume he's got a fairy.
Yeah, he does.
It's a really good way to waste a fairy, to be honest.
Yeah, pretty much.
And there's the book.
There's the book. And see, like, after Swamp, like, Jet could go check Bombos, hop off, and see what's over at the desert area. So that's actually... This is actually a good place to find the book, since he does have the mirror and everything.
Yep, and unfortunately those, I don't know what you call them, the magnet stairs or something, did manage to get him. As he did get the big key and is going to go ahead and check the big chest, so he doesn't have to come back in here. There is a way to avoid that double staircase climb, but I don't know the details on what you're actually supposed to do to make that happen.
Yeah, same.
Oh, I think Ack is going to make that Skullwoods play.
Yeah, at this point, he's just really committing to that skip, which, you know, it is sensible when you think about it, because if you feel really behind, and at that point, you know, it did look really behind. You know, it's one item. Like, I can definitely understand wanting to make that kind of play to do that, but unfortunately, just not going to be paying off, because that mirror is blocking the book that we need to get the second pair of gloves.
So there is one thing he could find here. Looks like we're going to be we might be in for an ice rod hunt.
Yep.
That's the one item. If Ack were to find that ice rod back here, that doesn't give him any immediate progression, but it means he would not have to search for it later.
Right.
And that would be the item that would... He'd then have only Tower of Hera left to check. He'd go to Hera, get his mirror, and then he wouldn't have to search for that ice rod. So that's kind of the best case scenario here at this point.
Yeah, that is a very good point, because, you know, usually when you're looking for that ice rod, one of the places you kind of want to check is Turtle Rock, because how many times have we seen ice rod in Turtle Rock? So
not unusual.
So finding that as soon as possible, like in a situation like this where you're checking the back of a pendant dungeon, that could be very advantageous for Ack right now. We do get a mushroom on Argus, so that's going to be another fetch quest item we can turn in and find out what that is later.
Yeah, and nice that they already have the powder, so don't have to worry about not using it to save for fake powder play. Looks like Jet's heading straight over towards that Bombos tablet.
Because, yeah, looking at how things are progressing right now, like, Ice Rod's the only for sure item that we're looking for at this point. We might still need Bombos, because we haven't seen Turtle Rock's Medallion yet, and there's always that possibility for Boots being required for Ganon's Tower in some way. But Ice Rod's the big one for sure.
Oh, but Jet does not continue over to Desert. Maybe we can do these Dark World checks we haven't seen yet. Or that he hasn't seen yet. Which would mean getting a Tempered Sword, which will be nice. Tempered plus Silvers is a really nice Ganon fight.
Okay, so let's see what Mothula has. Just a
Just
red
20.
rupee. And I want to say that that is all the items in Skull, because I want to say that
we definitely saw. Yeah, I want to say we saw two. That we saw all the keys, or saw 2 keys, which would mean a 3rd key would be on under the bridge there. And Jet sees a red potion, decides not to pick it up.
Or maybe not.
But Ack is going back in. I'm sure he's paying better attention to what he's doing than us trying to watch 2 runners at the same time. But yep, and it was just a small key.
Okay.
So I think this is gonna force him to go up to Hera again.
He's going to Mountain Cave, so I think that is what's going to happen. Or, oh, well, he's getting the flute out, so...
No. There may be something else that we can't, that I'm not thinking of that he hasn't checked. It's kind of hard when you have 2 runners.
Oh, right. Well, I thought it was going to be Ice Rod Cave, but... Oh, he's going to check Zora now, I think.
Oh, well, that'll at least get him a sword, but that's not what he was looking for. Meanwhile, Jet's going to go ahead and check the Pyramid Fairy, not going to get anything for it, so there's still time. The longer that Jet stays away from the desert area, the more time that Ack has to catch up by picking up that mirror. And the Ice Rod hunt could become the great equalizer here. So most likely we'll have both runners on Tempered and Silvers at the very least. Because I suspect once Ack gets into Swamp, although he might choose to cut a few corners and skip those left side checks. And Jet sees those mitts.
And that is exactly where he is going next.
And it looks like Ack's head back up the mountain. The only thing he could be checking at this point would be the basement of Hera. Particularly unfortunate for him because he could have had quite the lead if he had picked it up the first time. But it's it's a skip you make. It's not uncommon, and it's not uncommon for it to be absolutely nothing. So I mean, I fully support the decision at the time. It made a lot of sense for him at the time because it was so early. There were so many places to look. Jet getting there much later had a lot fewer places to look, and made a lot more sense for him to make sure he checked that basement.
Yeah, no, that's just the crazy thing with Rando. For every good required item, there's 10 items you don't need to complete the seed. So the odds were definitely in his favor that he wasn't going to find anything down there.
And he's gonna check Spiral Cave first. Forgot that he didn't quite get here last time. Okay, I suspect Jet's gonna go ahead and do Ice Palace now. And if he doesn't find that Ice Rod in Ice Palace, then we could still have a race. Shoutouts to Relkin for letting us know that he actually did find that Ice Rod over in the Desert Palace. Completely missed that watching what Ack was doing.
I missed it too, yeah. Okay, so yeah, there is a pretty strong possibility. Again, it depends on what that
depending the medallion for TR.
and pending on those boots as well, because
Yep.
GT.
That 1 in 22 chance that those boots could be required for Ganon's tower. So the question is, if you're Jet, do you just go mode ice? I mean, I think you do. We'll see what he decides to do.
I mean, you definitely want to grab the treasure chest along the way, but
Of course.
I say that, but he also just skipped the pin gator one, so.
That one, it's along the way, but it's a little bit slow. He'll probably, maybe the Freezor chest is a little bit faster, so maybe you check that one.
Yeah. I mean, pin gators, you just need the hook shot, and they go down easily. It could be a thing with Jet. He has game 1 under his belt. Maybe he's kind of thinking, I need to push on this. I can't give Ack a chance to even up the score here. If I'm in go mode, this could be my tournament right here. So it's a strong play. There's definitely risks involved with it, but there's risks in any rando race.
There's risks in skipping, but there's risks in checking because it is a time loss for everything you check.
Here's Ack about to find his mirror.
But yeah, the two things that could get Ack back into this race are Bombos needed for TR or boots needed for the GT Big Key.
And it is looking like Ack is going straight for Swamp here, so he's on the path. He's on the path he needs to be.
Yeah, and I said it earlier, I think he may skip that left side. Even with the map compass shuffle, even knowing those two things are items, he's got to feel behind at this point. And that's a pretty easy corner to skip, to cut. And, he'd only be missing out on silver, so in the end, that would be a good choice for him, I think.
Yeah, and, I'm sure, everyone knows, just from watching Jet in a lot of his races, he's very thorough. Jet's not usually a runner you see leave stuff behind. He's always very thorough, make sure he gets everything out of an area before he moves on. So, you gotta think that Jet would have gotten that mirror way before he did, so he probably feels pretty behind with that mirror find. Okay, so we're on to our first moment of truth coming up for Jet in about a minute.
Now, Turtle Rock, not a great go mode dungeon, so we'll see Jet check more of the items here. Depending on the location, the big key, he might be able to skip a little bit more. Might be able to skip most, if not possibly all, of Laser Bridge.
And now that I'm thinking about it, you mentioned possibility of Ack skipping that left side of Swamp. If he does that, he'll run into a situation much like yesterday where he will not get the silvers if he does that.
But we saw yesterday that he's perfectly capable of doing that, so I don't think the time difference for him would be... I think you'd lose more time picking them up than he would doing silverless.
That sounds about right, yes. And there's the verdict, Ether for Turtle Rock, so that's one of the items we can cross off the list. It's just that boots for that 1 out of 22 potential in Ganon's tower.
Less than 5%. So, Jet's looking pretty good here, but we've seen it before. It's happened in this tournament where we've seen, big key on that torch. Even more famously, we saw the race where the big key was on the right side and the runners didn't have Kane of Samaria. So
Yeah.
weird things can happen in Ganon's Tower. The game sometimes has a sense of humor to it.
Sometimes a very cruel sense of humor, but a sense of humor nonetheless.
And there's that big key, so Jet will be able to steal the key, and at least, you know, probably will skip the big chest. There is, of course, a small percentage chance that if he does decide to do that, that could bite him. But that's also at about 5%. That you could have these small keys both in the big chest and in the lava chest. That would be the only way he'd be screwed.
And there is the book for Ack.
And he will follow that book right away. We'll see if he gets... It probably does get that ice rod as well.
Oh yeah, I think it's pretty sure he's going to get those, definitely.
Yep, Jet grabbing that key. Is going to go ahead and take that chance of that 5% risk of skipping the big chest. And not only does he not get punished for it, he even will still get to skip Laser Bridge, which is really nice.
And yeah, an absolutely perfect Turtle Rock today. This is the kind of Turtle Rock you want to get when you're in Go Mode state.
Absolutely. Yeah, sometimes Go Mode Turtle Rock just looks a whole lot like not Go Mode Turtle Rock, not this
I know.
one.
Yep, he's going for straight to Trinex.
Yeah, so it would be funny if it turned out those boots were on Laser Bridge again, but we're probably never going to know.
Yeah, at this point, probably not. Trinex does get a little bit of ice on the floor, but should not be an issue.
Well, Ack picks up his mitts, and he doesn't know it yet, but well, we don't know for sure yet. We will know in a few seconds. But he is in Go Mode. Minus that Desert Torch. And I already see the numbers in chat.
I already do, so for, you
Did
know
someone
what?
start this thing officially?
I don't know. That everyone else is starting, so... yeah, for what could be, I mean, still have to tell, obviously, but Ganon's big key guessing game, 1 through 22. We like to have a little fun and try to guess where that big key is going to end up being.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I think that was the start, so you might want to put your numbers in again if you already put them in.
I am seeing quite a number of 3s in the chat. I wonder why.
I don't know. Let's hope I remember how to stop this too.
Oh, there is a possibility it might just go straight for the torch just to just to see if it is there or not. Oh, no, he's going for the hope room. Okay, we're delaying the torch for a little bit longer because Jet is heading to the right side.
I guess you could think of this in two ways. One, I want to know right away. I'm going to go straight and check that torch. Two, you know what? If it's there, I can wait to find out. It's fine.
Yeah, and if you happen to get like the boots in this area, you feel pretty dang good at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so this will make this 3 through 6. Oh, no. There they are. 5, 6. Okay. Is going to go ahead and grab the small key, and most likely will mirror out from here.
And with that, you know, Jet is officially in 100% go mode at this point. Just needs
indeed.
Needs to just lock down where that big key. Is it going to be on the torch? It's not.
Nope. That would have been fun if you get the boots and then the big key is there.
I know.
Okay, so that was number 7. And let's see, number 8, heart container. Number 9 is another small key. 10 is another small key. 11 is arrows.
Well, we're going a bit deeper in here. And now I'm sure.
And it's number 12. Okay.
In the fire bar room, and with that, Jet is on his way up the tower. Meanwhile, Ack on his end does finish up the cold stare fight, gets his 6th crystal.
Okay, his Jet's gonna head up into the gauntlet.
Gonna have nothing but straight up execution right here. It's always fun to watch these sections, especially with high execution runners like both of our runners here. Just being able to utilize different tools, different items based on your current situation. It's really, really fun to watch. Jet doing a really solid job so far. Yep, man, got through a lot of those rooms very, very quickly.
Yeah, I don't think he took any damage either, so very, very nicely done.
Being very, very true to his name as well.
And a very nice landmo kill too, with those silver arrows. And these rooms in particular are very nice to have those boots, so he's probably happy he did manage to pick them up, even if he delayed his pickup of the big key a little bit longer.
Yeah, there's just so many like long hallways in Ganon's tower where having the boots is really, really nice.
And the fact that there's those enemies there, and in fact that last room with the collapsing bridge, is so much nicer to have those boots. He's gonna want to grab up this magic though.
Yep, that's one thing we didn't quite find in the seed. Didn't find half magic, so...
Yeah, pretty much all the other luxuries. Yeah, pretty much found all the other luxuries, but no half magic today.
And yep, with silvers and a tempered sword, not gonna even bother looking for any more upgrades at this point. Feels, I'm sure, more than comfortable with what he has to finish this seed. He's just gonna rush right to the end.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain he's got a bottle of blue anyway.
Yeah,
just in case, as an extra bit of safety. So that's probably why he goes in and just skips that last magic pot.
And he still even has that fairy from the very first bottle we found in Eastern Palace,
right.
too.
Looks like that was probably only a double. Definitely a good way to open the fight. Alright, Jet finishing off Aga 2. And we'll head on to his fight with Ganon. And Jet doing a very nice job getting all those slashes in using the iframes from the hook shot. He's already in the third round.
Yeah, not trying anything fancy, just, you know, just keeping his cool, being calm, just doing what he needs to do to finish up this fight.
Gets that early silver shot and gets the torch glitch, which is always nice. Oh, almost had the triple there. But we'll finish Ganon off here.
All he has to do is wait for this little fanfare to play. And ladies and gentlemen, we have our Grand Finals champion of the Link to the Past Randomizer 2019 tournament, Jet082. Get your GGs in chat. On a very well-played series of very well-played tournaments, Jet is your winner this year.
Yeah, and absolutely congratulations to Jet. Finishing up with an official SRL time of 1:26.49. Our champion joining us in the Discord chat. How you doing, Jet? Congratulations!
Hey, GG. I think I feel pretty good.
You think?
Yep.
Well, I mean, you've had about 20 minutes to digest and watch the end of this.
No, I'm
How do
still
you
in
feel?
shock. Still in shock. And what a weird seed too. Oh my gosh. So, I was watching the last few minutes, because we're on the stream delay, and I think someone pointed out that I felt behind. I totally felt. I always feel behind. Like anyone who watches me knows, if I'm doing a race, I'm like, I think about like what I could have done, what I did wrong, what wasted time. I'm like, all Ack had to do was skip front of escape, and he could be like 2 minutes ahead. I'm like, oh god, just go fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that kind of your mentality? Like once you found the ice rod and the mitts, where you're just kind of like, I gotta just go for it at this point. Like,
absolutely. And I mean, I was nervous that it was a 2/3 chance that Turtle Rock was okay, and I was just waiting for Bombos to be there. I'm like, well, I'm gonna look at Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny because I'm up here, but it's gonna hurt. But yeah, go mode mitts pretty much. That's crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. It's a nice go mode though. There's a whole lot you can skip when your go mode is mitts.
Right, and but I was feeling behind because like Ack's not gonna get distracted by mid stuff. Like we're pretty much in go mode. Like where am I saving time this seed? I had no idea.
Yeah, so I think you guys already discussed it in the SRL chat, but yeah, the big difference, Ack skipping the basement of Hera his first time through.
Yeah, and apparently he did the dream. Like the dream this seed was to actually get your hammer first and then go up to Death Mountain.
Yep, that's what he did.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and again, that's in my head. Like, what if he did that? But I actually didn't count on him. I didn't. I knew I got Mir and her, but I sort of forgot it was in Tile Room. I'm just like, I'm there. I spent time like going the long way. Felt so bad, like walking the long way to get the Hera. But I'm like, this is my thing. Like, I saw it was a Pyramid Fairy crystal, so I'm like, at least I'll get Pyramid Fairy after this. But let me full clear Hera because I walked this way to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, when he did it, it was pretty early, so it was pretty reasonable to go ahead and skip that basement. Because there was still a ton to check. Whereas by the time you got there, you guys were running out of checks at that point. So it made a lot less sense for you to skip it at that point.
I don't know. I'm always thinking about, like, what could I have skipped to save a little bit of time? And, like, I skipped Shovel Game. I never do that, but I didn't route it in a good way. So I'm like, whatever, we're just going to skip it now.
Yeah, honestly, both of you skipped like Stumpy and Digging Game for the longest time.
Yes,
so
you did.
Like, those two checks were just like right there this whole time, but you were focusing on, kind of clearing things in your own little order, and it made sense to do it that way. But yeah, just those two checks just being on there the whole time.
Yeah, I was really hoping to get Fire Rod to just like full clear Skull Woods when I was there. Little did I know it was sitting over at Pyramid. I could have grabbed it after I did Pod, but yeah, that's why I put it was weird for me, but I'm feeling like, okay, Thieves, let's do Thieves, we can full clear it. Maybe I'll get Fire Rod, I can go right into Skull Woods, full clear that. Like, I was just trying to like do as many dungeons and be able to full clear them as I could.
Yeah, and we see Ack going through GT. What do you think of that Boots location?
That was good. That was a nice bailout.
I mean, at that point, you just wanted the big key to be on the torch when you had those boots right there.
Oh, I'm sure chat really wanted to.
Oh, they wanted it to be on the torch before you found the boots, but let's be fair. Let's be fair and honest.
Yeah, even a seed like this, it happens every now and then you don't get boots. I'm not going to really make that change my route. Because if Big Key's on there, I'm gonna full clear Gannis Tower anyway, looking for boosts because it's like the most dense location. So if it happens, it happens. I'm just gonna go right first because that's what I do usually. But yeah, I am shocked. I definitely am looking forward to rewatching this. But yeah, this is amazing. I never thought this would happen. And just I don't know. Here we are. Like this is new to me. I definitely want to give a shout outs. I see them in chat. My original friends and runners. My good friend Cross Product, he was the one who got me to play this randomizer, and then also Alucard 2004, Wild Anaconda 69, and a couple others from the Super Metroid community like Leodox and Triple Z and some others. We played a lot. VTorp, can't forget VTorp. We all played way back before VTorp even was a developer for this game. We would just play rando because it was fun. And shout outs to all you guys. Like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of you. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Like, GG's to you, man. I know that you've made it. You've always made it like pretty far, like even in the bracket stages for a lot of these tournaments. So, it's awesome to see you actually come away with the win and actually, performing very well in the bracket stage. I think you only had one loss in brackets, and of course there was that tie as well. But yeah, really solid performance throughout the entire tournament. So good job to you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I got to ask you though this question. So, Ack, of course, was absolutely 100% not going to do map and compass shuffle. Of course, we all knew he was going to do map and compass shuffle. But I seem to recall that the one time that you got to choose a setting in brackets, you chose map and compass shuffle, and I recall you saying that you were going to choose it because it's like a lot like Sandy, and that's one of your favorite modes. So, what was your thought process when you realized, okay, it's probably gonna be map compass shuffle?
So, I was both pretty surprised and happy. So I'm like, if I had lost game one, I was gonna pick map and compass shuffle. Like it's everything I say. It's like Sanity. I feel like it suits my playstyle, so I'm gonna pick it. But then I'm like, what is Ack up to? Like, he knows me. We've done like races and other things together. Like, I'm like, is he up to? Does he know my weakness? Oh god. So I'm like, this is gonna go completely different. It's either gonna go really well for me or it's gonna go really well for Ack.
I definitely do see Ack playing like a lot of different like kind of modes. Like, I know he does like entrance as well. So like, it's not surprising. I'm sure he has he's very well versatile in any mode for this randomizer for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's not here yet. He'll be joining us shortly, I'm sure. But I want to give a shout out to Ack as well, guys. Make sure you give him a follow. I mean, he made it really far in the tournament as well, second place. He's a lot of fun. You guys should follow him.
I mean, considering if you count qualifiers, you're talking like 300 people to start with, and you're number 2. I'd say it's pretty darn good.
Yeah, and like I called attention to earlier, like before this series, he also only had one loss in the bracket stage. So, also had a very solid tournament run in the brackets. So, definitely GG's to Ack as well.
And really glad he did. Oh, hey, look, a gold sword.
Is that where that was? Yeah, I was never getting that.
No. Oh, is he gonna go for the hover? Let's go! Got him!
You made it.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and call Axe finish and then bring him in so you guys can chat a little bit as well. I think that's the only chest he even checked up there, so kind of funny that it turns out to be a gold sword. That's right, he gets to show off his silverless skills again. And given how well he did yesterday on that silverless, if you didn't see yesterday's match, you're in for a treat.
And there we go. Agatu is down. Just the Ganon fight remaining. The last Ganon fight of this tournament, guys.
All right, let's go. Finish this off. Finish this tournament off in style.
Man, I'm jealous of that gold sword. Why couldn't I pick that up?
You could have. I don't blame you for skipping it, but
You were literally like 1 foot away from it.
Man, that chest takes forever. Might as well be like 5 minutes long. Get that.
It probably feels like that when you're trying to finish up a race.
Wow, that's a really nice torch glitch from that.
Yeah.
It's like perfect frame. And that, guys, is why you need to give him a follow.
And yep, getting the triple silverless strats in.
If you time that shot just right, you can get 3 silverless shots instead of just 2. And that does it.
And there we go. Everyone get your GGs in chat for Acktheboker, finishing in 2nd place for the tournament overall. That it does it for this tournament, guys.
An official time of 1:39:24. GG's to Acktheboker joining us right here now. Congratulations. I know you wanted 1st place, but 2nd place? Pretty darn good. Congratulations on a really nice tournament.
Thanks. GG. Congrats, Jet. GG's, man.
GG, Ack.
I knew at the end of the day, nothing could have gone wrong in this finals because I knew that the race council was taking the gold home. So it was all a win in my heart regardless.
Yeah, but who's the best on the racing council now?
We're a
baby.
team, I thought. I don't know. I thought we were a collective team, but...
All right, I'll give you that.
All right, so we could rehash everything that went on again, but I mean, at this point, we're at the finish. Kind of want to keep things a little positive. I'd actually like from both of you to, since we're at the end, talk about maybe your best moment throughout the tournament and maybe your worst moment throughout the tournament. Don't all talk at once.
I'll go. Honestly, I really liked my. I mean, I liked the tie that I had against Blaine. That was
fun.
Intense. Like rewatching that. I mean, I felt bad when it happened because I'm like, oh man, I lost. It was a tie. If I had just done something different for like 2 seconds, it would have been a win for me. But then I rewatched and I'm like, based on like how we diverged and everything and came together, I'm like, that was pretty exciting. And I'm sort of glad that we had. And on the stream, it looked like it was frame perfect tie. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was incredibly
really,
epic to watch and even call.
Yeah, having called a different tie, those are just wild when that happens.
Yeah.
And Ack, you want to share your best moment? I also want to hear what your worst moments are.
Man, I don't know. This was, for the most part, I feel like this was really just like an open standard mode tournament, and I would not say that those settings are my strong suit. I was really looking forward to like just being eliminated and doing commentary, and then I just kept winning. I really wasn't expecting that.
So what you're saying is the next tournament, when it's like entrance, insanity, whatever,
it's gonna be a mystery, right?
I don't
Oh
know.
God.
It should be. I mean, I don't know. It's like it's it's just rando and stuff, but you can definitely be exploited. You can definitely get punished by missing a mirror. I mean, at this point in the game, everybody's so good. I feel like to make it this far, like being good is just required, and then to make it, to the finals or to the top 4, top 8, you have to get really lucky too. I know, just thinking back to a lot of my series, the only game 3 I had was Sabatender, but just looking back, I was like, man, there was a lot of coin flips where those could have went the other way if I didn't make a certain decision.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
So-
rando all the time.
I have no regrets in this tournament. I had a lot of fun.
All right, that's good to hear. Okay, and we do have a whole lot of other people joining us right now. So with the admins of the tournament, first of all, my thanks for letting me be one of the commentators for the finals. It is an absolute honor to do this. I did not expect it. A whole lot of people signed up for these races, and to get chosen was just, an absolute wonderful thing. And thank you very much. And so this is probably going to be it for me. Thank you all. This was my first go around for Link to the Past. A lot of you know me from the Super Metroid side of things. So this is a little bit new for me to do a different game. And I had so much fun during this tournament doing commentary. And, thanks for those of you that have now come into my stream and watched me. And it's just been an absolute pleasure. And I'm just going to turn it over to our admins here and let them finish this off.
It's been a pleasure having you join us for commentary for this. I know you guys, and you definitely have been a part of the Super Metroid Randomizer scene, and you're going to be helping out with the Super Metroid tournament that's coming up real soon as well. So it's been definitely a pleasure, both here as an admin as well as a staff for Speed Gaming, having you join us for this tournament.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And also thank you to Slim Kirby to have a great co-commentator. I don't think we haven't worked together this tournament, so it was fun to get another new person. A lot of really fun commentating partners I've had. And again, thank you to Relkin for doing the tracking behind the scenes, and thank you to all the trackers, because really that's the hard work. It's not talking is easy, tracking is hard. So, but yeah, again, thank you everyone. And I'm just going to go ahead and let Slim Kirby talk, and then let the admins finish us off for the tournament.
Okay, well, on my end, I don't have much to say. Thank you, Tracy, for joining me on this match. Thanks to, all the viewers for all of these tournament races. It's been a blast bringing on these tournament matches for you guys. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a great tournament, and, definitely special thanks to our runners as well, particularly our 2 runners for the finals here, Jet082 and Acktheboker. Put on an amazing show, amazing series, amazing tournament run. So, GG to both of you for making it this far. This has been Slim Kirby. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'm going to turn it over to our admins here and let them kick off the closing ceremonies. So see you guys later.
But Slim, you have one last thing you have to do for this tournament as operations moderator.
You're right, Rick, I do. So let me just pull up the challenge page and make it official.
Oh no, spoilers for people that are after this too late.
Is it going to be like official, like that one ongoing tournament like that we had in 2017? That thing's been going on for like 2 years now.
Oh, the GCSE tournament.
Yeah.
I can't edit that one, so I can't help you there.
I look at it every day. I want to know who won.
I thought you were talking about our other Nightmare tournament where we had over 500 in a
I think it was that one. Yeah.
No, the Key Sandy was the one that hadn't been finished up. The 512 person tournament was the one that followed it in the spring of 2018.
Yeah, and I think we used a different challenge page for the groups and bracket stages for that one. It's like we just got sick of dealing with challenge and having to wait for 24, 48 hours for tech support to fix the site every round.
Yeah, all the phone calls that Will J. Bradley had to make to challenge to get things fixed at the end of each of the rounds. But we digress. First of all, Slim, hit the button, and, thank you very much for all the hard work that you did keeping that challenge up to date. And, you did a great job with the commentary, both you and Tracy, for this one. Great job to the runners. Congratulations to Jet. And GG's to Acktheboker, a fantastic second place out of 200 plus runners. And that's pretty much all I've got to say. Is the shout outs to you two and shout outs to everybody who's helped out behind the scenes, both on the speed gaming end and also on the tournament end.
And
Good
the button has been pressed, so go on, guys.
It's official. Well, hey, Sabatender here. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to echo what everyone else has been saying. We don't want to really drag this out too much longer. But yeah, thanks to everyone who's been volunteering for us. It means so much that you guys are willing to, donate your time to this tournament. We have an excellent commentary team, excellent trackers, our mod team, and the other admins as well. Like, it's such a well-oiled machine at this point, and it's all because we have wonderful volunteers. So big shout outs to everybody who's decided to volunteer for us. It means a lot. Thanks to Speed Gaming for putting us up, giving us a home to air these races. It makes for great entertainment. So big shout outs to them. I don't know if I have too much more from my end, so I'll let you guys keep going with it.
So, wow, we've been at this for 3 years now.
Wait, 3 years?
3 whole years.
Remember that
Yeah.
back 3 years ago when swords weren't progressing?
Butter Sword in Link's house.
I remember those times. So good.
Don't we have something
can't
coming
remember.
up real soon?
Oh yeah, so March 27th. Write that date down. That is the 3-year anniversary of tournament matches for Link to the Past. This is when everything kicked off for this partnership between admins for Link to the Past and Speed Gaming. This was also right around the 1-year anniversary for Link to the Past Randomizer itself. Version 1 was interesting. It took a while to get some things figured out. Say, like, very first seed I played, we had Quake earlier on, but if you had Quake in your inventory, Catfish would just bomb you and you don't get an item. So
Sounds like a nightmare.
So we need to restudy on all the old fun stuff from V18, version 18, from the first
it's coming
tournament.
back. Oh boy.
Nick has done some magic and he's decided to clone this. I think he's gonna post that link in chat sometime soonish. But we are gonna have on the evening of the 27th, probably around 9 p.m. or so Eastern. We'll do one race then, and then we'll do another European friendly time the following day on Saturday, probably 2 or 3 Eastern.
Yeah, the idea is to replace the 9 o'clock daily on that Friday and then the 3 o'clock casual weekly on that Saturday.
Nice. Sounds hype.
That
But
sounds
it's-
incredible.
Yeah, and then just thinking back on these last 3 years, it's still amazing about how much this community has grown since then. It's like, yeah, we've had our struggles, we've had our fires, but we've all grown from that. We're still going stronger. It's like at the beginning of this tournament, we still had 269 players that joined the qualifiers that we did down to the 128 in groups, 64 in brackets, down to our final 4, doomed to have that 4th. Ninban getting the bronze, and then as you just saw, Ack getting 2nd and Jet bringing home the gold. We still have a lot of activity on this game, and speaking of activity, we still have a few more side stuff that's going to be coming down the road pretty soon. We have the leagues coming up. Looks like Challenge Cup semi and finals are coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, they're in the middle of the Challenge Cup semifinals right now. They've got the finals coming up real soon. Also, German finals coming up starting tomorrow.
Yeah, so we still got a ton of A Link to the Past randomizers coming up. And I'm sure we'll probably still see some more as well. We might see some more entrants. We might see glitch stuff. We probably see a lot more of the combo randomizer as well.
It's amazing how much this stuff has grown over the last 3 years. Like, going from what we had in the first tournament I mean, speed gaming's definitely grown over the past 3 years, thanks in part to this tournament. And of course, thanks to the part of the hard work of UJC, as well as to Feasel, who's running things behind the scenes. But a lot of things have grown. I mean, we went from having just Link to the Past Randomizer to the Combomizer with Super Metroid to crowd control stuff that you saw here on the Speed Gaming channels, as well as on individual streams, and also the GDQ. I mean, a lot of things have grown.
Yeah, and people finally just taking the time to actually make that silly USB port and SD to SNES useful, so we get to see things like multi-world to go with that crowd. It's amazing how far we've gone. Stuff that's still in the works. It'll be pretty exciting.
You know, the fun thing is all the friends and people we've got to meet over the years, thanks in part to this game.
Oh yeah, everybody here is pretty solid.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, it's like we don't have any dates yet for SG Live, but we're still trying to solidify the last bit of booking and stuff like. But expect to see an announcement from us hopefully in the next month. Be great to see you all there as well.
But, you know, in all, let's go ahead and thank the people that really helped us out with this. First of all, the viewers. Without them watching this, hey, we're just all going around in chaos trying to find out where the next dice rod's going to be. And, you know, if it wasn't for the viewers coming by and watching all of this, definitely thank you guys. But, you know, we definitely want to thank the hardworking volunteers and the crew that we had working behind the scenes for us.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, we've got a great team. It's such a great organization that we've got kind of going here. And yeah, I don't know. I think that might be just about it. And look for the 2020 version of this tournament sometime in the fall again, kind of in the same time frame. We've got it kind of chunked out more or less in the same kind of way that 2019 played out. So look forward to that as well, kind of even further down the line. So there's going to be no shortage of rando action. I just want to give one more shout out to our 2 finalists today. These guys are great guys in the community, and GG's to them again. Is that going to do it for us? Yeah. I think we're good, right?
Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Yep, so this is JC87. Thank you all for the support over the years. Thanks for hyping up this match and getting all excited with this little twists and turns of the last couple seeds for our final. It was pretty gut-wrenching at times, so heart stopped a few times, so but you all brought it back to life, so thank you all. Have a great night.
Thank you to everyone for joining us. We'll see you next tournament.